All right, so I'm here with Larry and Kevin Knudsen in my neighborhood, actually. Uh, and your Farmall 826 Hydro, because they were offered a gear drive only as a diesel, but I think a Hydro, maybe gas and diesel.
I think so, yep.
So, what do you guys? I always say that 80–90% of the farms around here when I was a kid were dairy farms. Wouldn't you say that would be about accurate?
Oh, yeah, yep.
You guys never dairy.
Uh, Back in the 50s.
Yeah, it was before our time.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys never. Yeah.
Our dads, when they first started,
Okay.
they did milk cows for I don't know how many years, but they bought a farm and it was set up for milking cows. And
Was it as many as 8 cows? It wasn't many cows.
no, I'm not sure how many it was, but yeah, they did milk for a few years.
So now today, what do you guys do?
Pretty much cash cropping and beef cows, beef
Okay.
cattle.
Corn, soybeans.
Alfalfa.
Raised a lot of alfalfa,
Okay.
and now we're starting to raise some wheat.
So now this tractor you guys got when it was not brand new. Well, it was basically a new tractor then, right?
Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, basically a new tractor. It's been demoed for a while and had 200 hours or less on it, and we got it on a 1-year lease, and to decide whether we liked it or not, and then we bought it outright after the lease was up. So.
Because the Hydro was a relatively, I think the 656 was the first
Yeah.
Hydro.
And this was our first hydro that we'd had on the farm, so we weren't sure whether we would like it or not, but it turned out to be a very good tractor for us for the non-tillage work. We never used it. I don't know if we ever did any tillage with it to speak of.
No, I don't think we ever did, but we had like on a cultivator and we
Yep.
planted, and
Yeah, it was our main cultivator tractor and our main planter tractor for
a lot of years.
20 years.
So there would be the dealer that sold it new, hard to read, but that'd be Julian Welsingham, Ellsworth, Wisconsin, right?
Correct.
Yep, County Road C.
So when you guys got this wasn't your big tractor.
No, we bought a 1206 in 1965.
Yeah, and
And-
before that, our big tractor was a 560 we bought in 1963.
Okay. So the plan for this was planting, cultivating, row crop stuff.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, because actually, did we have the 1466s when we bought this?
This would be older, wouldn't it?
I think it's older. Yes.
I don't think we had them yet.
I'm trying to think how that come pretty close to the same time as we bought our 14, but we must have had it a few years before.
Because these were, what, 70, 71 right in there, and the
Correct.
14s came out 72 right
Yeah.
around there.
Yep. I think we bought ours in 73 and 74.
Sounds right. Yep. I
Yeah.
think that's.
And
So yeah, it was the tractor that we used for just about everything but tillage, raking and planting, and I think we had the stock shredder on it for a while.
and they were all these tractors were open station,
Yeah.
right? None of them had a cab.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we ever had a cab on the farm until, when was that, Larry? Late 80s, early 90s,
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
when we bought some used 1466s with cabs.
Okay.
So that was our first cab tractor.
So now when you guys were planting corn with this, how many acres of corn back then in the 70s?
Well, we plant some years like 800 or 900, maybe even 1,000 one year.
Yeah, I think we were over 1,000.
I think we did hit over 1,000, and but yeah, we planted it all with one tractor, and you had to move along with the thing, and we had 2 plows going and 2 discs, and
Planting it with the 4-row planter.
yeah.
4-row 438s.
So, and one time I actually did a check with that cycle and planted to see how the population would change, and I was going up on a steep hill on a farm with no rocks. I went 4 miles an hour up the hill with it, and 13 miles an hour down the hill with it. And the population difference was only about 500, so I thought the planter was working pretty good. But this planter worked well or this tractor worked well for planting because you could just slow down for the rocks and then go really fast when there wasn't rocks. And you had to keep moving to try and keep up to those
I-
and get the job done.
And
Well-
it wasn't overpowered. It wasn't overpowered for the 4-row planter. When you were going up a hill, it was making it work.
Well, and we should probably point out that was dry fertilizer.
Correct.
Yep.
So that's a lot of weight,
Yep. A lot of weight.
and it takes some power too. You're not
Doesn't have
no-tilling.
boulders in the ground.
Yeah, so you're dragging it through soft dirt and
Yeah.
um, and they're
Yeah, and back then, most of what we were planting into was plowing, plowed, then we just once. So
okay.
it was going up a hill. She worked her hard, and I think
She did.
I remember that muffler on it. She'd be glowing red hot.
Well, it was a cyclo, right? So you had to run the PTO to run the planter, right?
Yeah.
Remember I said I was going 4 miles an hour up that hill. I mean, it was a pretty steep hill, but that was pretty much all the tractor could do going up that hill.
That's funny. So then in the winter, to have to haul manure, that kind of work, or
Yep. Be on the manure spreader some.
you guys had, because back then you had hogs,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Yep. But none of that manure went out in the winter.
No,
That all went out in
pits.
the summer. So
So now what I should ask is, so of all that corn you were growing back then, were you selling corn or were you feeding pretty much all that corn?
We sold a lot of corn. We were going through probably about 20,000 bushels a year to feed the hogs, and then the rest of it was sold. So yeah, we sold a lot of the corn.
Okay.
some of the corn, some years would be fed to the steers.
Yep.
You know.
What year did you guys start growing beans then?
That's around 1980ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Started drilling the beans. I'm trying to think. I think the drill was on the 706. I don't think we ever had the drill on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we never had
Right.
it on here either.
Right, because the corn planter was always on here. It seemed like, didn't we? I think the first year or two we actually planted 438s.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we planted with this tractor, planted the beans with this tractor until we got a drill, and then we started drilling the soybeans in for a few years.
So yeah, just change the drum on the cyclo and it'd
Yeah.
plant beans then.
Right.
So how long did you guys stay 4-row?
About
So
1992.
1992. 92 we bought a new 6-row planter.
Was that an IH or Case IH?
Yep. Case IH Cyclo.
Did this?
900. That was a 900.
Okay.
The 4-row that we bought was a 800 that we were using.
Did this plant with the 6-row then?
No,
Okay.
no, we had that wouldn't have been enough to pull it because then we were no-till.
Oh.
In 92 we started no-till.
Okay.
And after, I think it was a 1 year and maybe 2 years after we bought that new 6-row, then we bought another 6-row. So we were planting with 2 6-row cycles.
Okay.
One was a deep tillage planter and the other one was a Rawson coulter bar on the planter.
Okay. So how many hours do you think's on that 826?
I think you know.
I don't know.
I'm guessing it's somewhere between 10 and 12,000
Has it ever been overhauled?
once.
Okay.
Yep.
The hydro been gone through?
The hydro was replaced once. Yep.
Okay. So she's been a good tractor.
Yeah, very good. And we did have another. Smaller hydro with German diesel in it, but that tractor was not as was in a lot better shape and looked prettier. But that was not as good a tractor as this one. We've had very little problems.